Most people believe you can't make cutting-edge chips without top-tier lithography machines. This seemed like an unbreakable rule in the semiconductor world. But 2024's numbers shocked everyone. SMIC has become the world's third-largest contract chip manufacturer, trailing only TSMC and Samsung. Even more unbelievable. This Chinese company, hit hard by US sanctions, actually mass-produced 7nm chips without EUV lithography machines. They're even sprinting toward 5nm production. How on earth did they pull this off? The answer's way more fascinating than you'd think. Back in 2020, when the US Commerce Department slapped SMIC on the entity list, the entire semiconductor industry figured this Chinese chip giant was toast. The sanctions cut off SMIC's access to critical equipment, especially ASML's, EUV, extreme ultraviolet lithography machines. These were considered absolutely essential for making 7nm and below advanced chips. Wall Street analysts predicted SMIC would be stuck forever at 28nm process nodes, never able to move forward again. But the sanctioners didn't see this coming. The crackdown actually fired up China's semiconductor industry like never before. The National Integrated Circuit Industry Investment Fund quickly pumped in $48 billion. That's enough money to make any competitor break out in a cold sweat. More importantly, Huawei HiSilicon, once TSMC's major customer, started working hand-in-hand with SMIC on deep technical collaboration. From that moment on, these two companies' fates became inseparably linked. To understand SMIC's tech breakthrough, we need to go back to 2000. Company founder Richard Chang wasn't your average entrepreneur. He used to be a senior executive at TSMC, involved in building that global chip foundry powerhouse from the ground up. Even more interesting, Chang also founded another semiconductor company called Worldwide Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, which TSMC later acquired. This experience gave Chang invaluable technical know-how and industry insights. When he started SMIC on the Chinese mainland, TSMC immediately saw the threat coming. Starting in 2003, TSMC launched a 6-year patent lawsuit campaign against SMIC. SMIC finally settled by paying $375 million. This expensive legal battle proved something crucial. SMIC's technical capabilities were already making competitors seriously nervous. July 2022. What seemed like routine news sent shockwaves through the industry. Canadian tech analysis firm TechInsights was tearing down a Bitcoin mining chip when they made a startling discovery. This chip used 7nm process technology, and the manufacturer was none other than SMIC. The finding left everyone speechless. SMIC had been secretly mass-producing 7nm chips for over a year. Without saying a word, what made this even more mind-blowing was how SMIC achieved this breakthrough. They completely flipped industry thinking on its head. Instead of using EUV lithography machines, they upgraded DUV equipment with multiple patterning technology. They basically stretched what should have been a 9-step 7nm process into 34 steps. Sure, production efficiency took a massive hit, but it proved something powerful. Even under the most brutal tech blockade, innovation still finds a way. Huawei Mate 60's stunning comebacks. September 2023. Huawei dropped the Mate 60 Pro out of nowhere, powered by the Kirin 9-sense chip that rocked the entire tech world. TechInsights' teardown confirmed it. This chip was manufactured by SMIC using their 7nm end to process. Huawei had somehow launched a flagship phone with advanced process chips. 3 years after comprehensive US sanctions, this phone's successful launch caught the US Commerce Department completely off guard. They thought Huawei had been totally cut off from chips. But not only did Huawei survive, they showed incredible tech independence. What made competitors even more nervous? Huawei announced they'd launch new chips using 5nm process by late 2024 and 2025. This meant SMIC's technical progress was way faster than anyone expected. Without EUV lithography machines, SMIC had to blaze their own trail. They chose a much harder but controllable technical path. They optimized DUV equipment's multiple patterning technology to achieve advanced process breakthroughs. The cost was obvious. Production steps jumped from 9 to 34, yields plummeted, costs shot up over 50%. But this brute force method had unique advantages: complete independence and control, immune to external sanctions. By 2024, SMIC's 7 nanometers chip yields had climbed from an initial 20% to 40%, way below TSMC's 80% yields. They'd hit the break-even point for commercial production. U.S. consulting firm Creative Strategies assessed that 40% yields were enough to support large-scale production and profitability. SMIC's 2024 financial results made the entire industry take notice. Annual sales revenue broke through $8 billion for the first time, up 27% year-over-year, setting a new record. More importantly, the company announced an ambitious expansion plan. Total capacity in 2025 would jump from 700,000 wafers per month to 1 million wafers per month. That's a whopping 43% increase. This crazy expansion speed reflects huge demand for domestic chip manufacturing in the Chinese market. As geopolitical risks escalate, more Chinese companies are shifting orders from TSMC to SMIC. Even with slight technical gaps, supply chain security concerns leave them no choice. SMIC's customer roster already includes domestic chip design companies like Huawei HiSilicon, Unisoc, and Horizon Robotics. To SMIC's rapid development can't be separated from strong government backing. In 2024, government subsidies hit $411 million, accounting for 87% of the company's operating profit. Without this funding support, SMIC's operating profit would have been just $62 million. These numbers might seem concerning, but from another angle, they show China's unwavering determination for semiconductor independence. The National Integrated Circuit Industry Investment Fund's third phase is about to launch with expected scale, exceeding the first 2 phases combined. Beyond direct capital injection, the government provides comprehensive support through tax breaks, land assistance, talent policies, and more. This whole nation system advantage shows especially clearly in capital-intensive industries, like semiconductors. Huawei HiSilicon's deep involvement brought SMIC unexpected talent dividends. HiSilicon didn't just bring advanced chip design concepts. More importantly, they dramatically boosted industry-wide salary levels. Rumors suggest Huawei offered salaries 50% above market rates to attract top talent, directly driving up compensation across the entire semiconductor manufacturing industry. Before and after sanctions, SMIC went through a series of management adjustments. Past internal conflicts that plagued the company got effectively resolved. Current co-CEO Liang Mensong is a former TSMC tech superstar. His joining brought SMIC crucial technical breakthroughs. This combination of Taiwan technology plus mainland capital, government support is showing explosive potential. February 2025. The Financial Times quoted sources saying, SMIC's Ascend 910C chip yields had jumped from 20% a year ago to 40%. This number carries huge significance because it marks SMIC's 7 nanometers process crossing the commercial production threshold. U.S. semiconductor consulting firm SemiAnalysis reported that Huawei mainly relies on SMIC's N+2 process to produce AI chips. Having already processed tens of thousands of wafers, yield improvements don't just reflect technical progress. They're the result of deep cooperation between SMIC and Huawei. Huawei provides not only funding support but also dispatched numerous engineers to work with SMIC on tackling technical challenges. This tight customer-foundry collaboration model reminds us of early Apple-TSMC relationships, which were key to TSMC's rise. The 2025's most important task for SMIC is achieving 5 nanometers process breakthrough. According to Korean investment firm Kiwoom Securities, SMIC will complete 5 nanometers chip development in 2025 for production of Huawei's Ascend 910C AI compute cards. While costs run 50% higher than TSMC's EUV approach, this would mark another milestone. For China's semiconductor manufacturing industry, even more exciting, SMIC and Huawei have already filed patents for 3 nanometers process based on DUV multiple patterning technology. If this technical route succeeds, it'll completely prove that innovation can still find a path forward even without the most advanced equipment. Shanghai Microelectronics, SSA 800 series, lithography machines, and Amici's 5 nanometers etching equipment have started trials on SMIC's production lines. The domestic equipment ecosystem is rapidly taking shape. Let's be honest, SMIC's gap with TSMC remains obvious. TSMC has already mass-produced 3 nanometers processes and is developing 2 nanometers technology, leading by about 3 to 5 years. In capacity scale, TSMC's monthly capacity exceeds 1.5 million 12-inch wafers, while SMIC sits at just 700,000. In yields, TSMC's 7 nanometers chip yields top 90%, while SMIC manages only 40%. But the gap is shrinking. In 2024, SMIC became the world's 3rd largest contract chip manufacturer. Their market share gap with Samsung narrowed to 5 to 6 percentage points. More importantly, SMIC has clear cost advantages in 28 nanometers and above mature processes. In early 2025, they suddenly slashed 28 nanometers wafer prices from $2,500 to $1,500, a brutal 40% cut. This price war strategy created massive shockwaves across the global foundry market. SMIC's success isn't just process technology breakthroughs, it's collective progress across China's entire semiconductor equipment industry chain. Ameci's etching equipment, Nora's thin film deposition equipment, Watsing's chemical mechanical polishing equipment. Others are playing increasingly important roles on SMIC's production lines. This equipment localization doesn't just cut costs. More importantly, it ensures supply chain security. Shanghai Microelectronics, SSA 600 and SSA 800 series lithography machines still have technical gaps, but can already meet 28 nanometers process production needs. Industry insiders reveal that domestic EUV lithography machines are under development, expected to enter trial production in Q3 2025. If this equipment succeeds, it'll completely reshape the global semiconductor manufacturing landscape. SMIC is aggressively expanding into the automotive electronics market. This field has relatively lower advanced process requirements, but extremely high reliability and cost control demands. The company aims to boost automotive product share to 10% over the next 3 years, up from the current 8%. IGBT and silicon carbide power devices have achieved mass production on SMIC's lines and passed strict automotive-grade certification. China's new energy vehicle market explosion provides SMIC with huge opportunities. New automakers like BYD, Xpeng, and Li Auto are all seeking supply chain localization. SMIC is rapidly gaining market share through cost advantages and local service capabilities. By 2027, automotive electronics is expected to become SMIC's 2nd largest revenue source after consumer electronics. Based on current technical progress and market trends, SMIC's development trajectory over the next 3 years is pretty clear. 2025 will be the critical year for 5 nanometers process. With small batch trial production expected in the second half, 2026 will see 5 nanometers process enter large-scale production, with yields hopefully reaching over 60%. 2027 should see 3 nanometers process technology, basically mature, with SMIC potentially becoming the world's 2nd largest contract chip manufacturer. More importantly, as the domestic equipment ecosystem improves and technology iteration accelerates, SMIC's cost advantages will become increasingly obvious. By 2027, SMIC's costs for 28 nanometers and above mature processes should be over 30% lower than TSMC's. This will attract more global customers to shift orders to China. Escalating geopolitical risks will also drive supply chain diversification. SMIC, as TSMC's most important alternative, will benefit from this trend. To SMIC's rise tells us something profound. Tech blockades might slow down the chase, but they can't stop innovation in its tracks. From Sanctions target to the world's third largest foundry, SMIC proved a simple but deep truth in 5 years. With enough funding support, talent concentration, market demand driving things forward, no technical barrier is insurmountable. More importantly, SMIC's technical route offers the global semiconductor industry a completely new way of thinking. You don't need to rely on the most advanced equipment. Process innovation and technical optimization can still achieve advanced process breakthroughs. This China solution is redefining the boundaries of what's possible in semiconductor manufacturing. And this is just the beginning. When 5 nanometers, 3 nanometers, and even more advanced processes achieve large-scale production in China, the global semiconductor industry landscape will face fundamental change. For investors, SMIC isn't just a chip foundry company. It's the core vehicle for China's tech independence strategy. As technology keeps breaking through and capacity continues expanding, this company's value will far exceed current market valuations. For the entire industry, SMIC's success proves an exciting fact. In this age full of variables, anything that seems impossible can become reality.